All right, boys and girls, we're going to continue our chapter in centimeter measurement or metric measurement. Today we're going to be working on measuring and comparing lengths. Our essential question is, how do you find the difference between the lengths of two objects? So remember, the difference is when we take two numbers and we subtract the smallest number from the largest number. So we're going to be doing that with measurements today. So that's what you should be able to do by the end of the lesson, is be able to find the difference between the lengths of two objects. So let's continue to our next page. And we should be on page 639 in our books. And I'm going to go ahead and increase the size of this a little bit. And the listen and draw says, measure and record each length. So you're going to measure the paintbrush with your ruler, and you're going to measure this colored pencil with your ruler, and you're going to measure in centimeters. So that's the side with the smaller units. So go ahead and pause your video and measure the paintbrush and the colored pencil. All right, so for the colored pencil, or for the paintbrush, you can see my ruler's already lined up, and it comes out to about 15 centimeters. And you should have gotten that. And so for the next object, we're going to measure the colored pencil and make sure that this end is on the 0. And so the colored pencil, you should have gotten about 8 centimeters. And so for our math talk question, it says, name a classroom object that is longer than the paintbrush and explain how you know. And so I would say maybe something like my desk is longer than the paintbrush, and I know this because when I have a picture of the paintbrush on my desk, it is shorter than my desk, right? Pretty obvious. Let's go to the next page so we can talk about the model and draw. And so the model and draw today says, how much longer is the pencil than the crayon? And so if we measure the pencil, let me get my ruler up here, we can see that the pencil is about 8 centimeters. And so we have 8 centimeters. And so I'm going to trace right here where it says 8 centimeters. Okay, and so then the second thing I need to do is I need to measure the crayon. And the crayon's about 5 centimeters, so I'm going to trace the 5. And so if I want to find the difference, which is our skill for today, our essential question, I'm going to need to subtract, right? Because difference means to subtract. And so I'm going to trace. I got my larger number first. I'm going to trace my 8. And then minus 5 centimeters, and I know that 8 minus 5 equals 3. 8 minus 5 equals 3 centimeters. So that tells me the pencil is 3 centimeters longer than the crayon. So you know how to do this, right? The only difference is you're doing it with measuring in centimeters today. So the directions for the share and show, I'm going to move my paper down, says measure the length of each object, complete the number sentence to find the difference between the lengths. So you're going to do number 1, just like we did with the model and draw, right? It looks exactly the same. And you're going to do number 2. So go ahead and do number 1 and number 2. Pause your video, do number 1 and number 2, fill in all the blanks with the answers. Okay, so number 1 and number 2. So the first object is the straw. The straw is 7 centimeters, which is what you should have already gotten. The string is about 10 centimeters. Again, you should have already written this here. And we want to find the difference in lengths. So I'm noticing that the string is longer than the straw. So that means I'm going to put the number 10 first, because that's the larger number, right? Because you can't take 7 from 10, but you can't take 10 from 7, but you can take 7 from 10. So 10 minus 7, and then 10 minus 7 equals 3. And so the string is 3 centimeters longer than the straw. Number 2, the paintbrush is about 11 centimeters and the toothpick is about 5 centimeters. So you should have already gotten these numbers, 11 and 5. And so I'm going to move my ruler out of the way and we'll write the larger number, 11, because I can see that the paintbrush is longer. 11 minus 5, and so 11 minus 5 is 6. So the paintbrush is 6 centimeters longer than the toothpick. All right, let's keep this up. Let's go to the next page. And we're going to do the same thing with the crayon and the string, and then the string and the paper clip. So you're going to do number 3 and number 4. Go ahead and pause your video and do number 3 and number 4. Okay, so let's see, answer time. Let's see, the crayon's about 8 centimeters. And this, is that a string? I can't tell. But it's about 10 centimeters. So we got 8 and 10. So I'm going to write my numbers in the blanks. So the crayon's 8 centimeters, and this thing is 10 centimeters. It looks like a string. And then we're going to show our work. So 10 minus 8 equals 2 centimeters. So the yarn, oh, it's yarn. The yarn is 2 centimeters longer than the crayon. Number 4, you should have done this one already. So we've got 9 centimeters and about, I'd say 5 centimeters. So 9 and 5. And so this time we're measuring a string. So we've got, the string is longer. So we're going to write 9 minus 5. And 9 minus 5 equals 4. So the string is 4 centimeters longer than the paper clip. Alright, so let's see. Let's go to the next page. Oops. And we're going to do the Think Smarter problem. So it says, measure the length of each object. Which object is longer? How much longer? Explain. So we've got 3 things that we have to answer down on the blanks. So the crayon is about 11 centimeters, and so I'm going to take notes. 11, and then the abbreviation for centimeters is cm. And the string is about 6 centimeters. So I'm going to write 6 cm. Alright, so now we have to explain this. So the first question says which object is longer. So we'll say the crayon is longer because, and then we said that we know that it's 6 centimeters, right? Because it's, apostrophe S, 11 centimeters, period. And then what, how much longer? Okay, so we'll say that, let's see, it's about the crayon is, let's see, 11 minus 6 is 5. So the crayon is 5 centimeters longer than the string that is 6 centimeters long. And so we explained, and we told how much longer, and we told which object is longer. All right, I think that wraps it up for the work that we're going to do together today. So now you're going to be working on your own. Okay, so we're going to get to that part. So the homework pages today are page 643 and 644. And so you're going to work through that on your own today. And so you're going to do a problem like we've already done. Got a couple of story problems, and then on the second page, again, another problem like you've already done. And then spiral review, you're going to figure out the value of these coins, and then answer a couple questions down here at the bottom. All right, good luck with your assignment.